And then the picture to the right, that's when we won. All the odds were stacked against us, y'all. All the odds. I remember this because I went to my best friend, Brandy. She went to NC State. Of course, I was at T. And so it's an hour and a half drive. So I went up there to watch the game because they were renting out like a theater or whatever. So I went down there. We were there, and odds were stacked against us. It looked like we were gonna lose. So everybody's like talking trash, talking trash. And then, y'all, Ben Roethlisberger threw this pass. Oh boy, caught it in the end zone. Tap, tap those toes. And it was a hush that fell over the crowd. It was a hush. And I just ran to the front like it was an altar call. You feel me? I was just like, yeah, yeah. Like I'll never forget that. Like just the exhilaration because they just knew we was gonna lose. And yeah, see, and then boom, we had the last word. So that was a great feeling. What is up, y'all? How are y'all doing? I hope y'all are doing good, man.
Football is back and whatever, so I'm kind of excited.
I hope y'all are doing good. Um, I just been running for my life. You see, what was the last 3 weekends have been bananas. I think we had a marriage conference to go to. Then the next weekend is my son Drew. He turned 1. And then also that week, we actually went to go see the Steelers preseason game. And then last weekend, had a women's retreat. And then Monday, Labor Day, family reunion. So I'm just trying to breathe. And I was just living second to second because normally I'm a planner, and I plan out 3 months in advance. I know all the things, but these last 3 weeks, I'm like, okay, what is next? What's the next thing in front of me so I can just get through it? So I think I can breathe a little bit now. But yeah, y'all, I'm just so excited. Actually, before I get into our topic for today, this is not funny, but it'll tie into what we've been talking about. So y'all remember episode 6, and I told y'all that I'm just a really powerful and vivid dreamer. Okay. And 9 times out of 10, you see me here in the physical realm, but my mind be somewhere else, right? Remember I told you how I fell off the treadmill because I was so deep in thought, skinned my knees up and everything. I'm healed now. I'm back in the gym. It's all good. Um, so to tell y'all, like, and again, this is let me push my tangent button.
Clock it.
I always do the wrong one. Dang it. I gotta switch it. Start over.
This is a tangent.
Quick tangent. Okay. So to illustrate like how bad I am with this, y'all, I was thinking. So my church, they're starting small groups, right? And one of the small groups I'm going to start is called Podcasting Basics. Because anytime I tell somebody I'm doing a podcast, most of the time they're like, "Oh my gosh, are you serious?" Because I want to do one too, but most people just don't know like what they even need, how to get started, all the stuff. And so we have different type of small groups. We have a small group of people that like baking, that like shooting, they go to the gun range, skating, biking, walking, all the stuff. So I'm gonna do mine on podcasting basis and just how to get started or whatever. And so I was thinking about what the my first class would be like, and some of the things I would tell them. And that I don't know if y'all know this, but 90% of all people that say I want to start a podcast or I want to start a YouTube channel, I want to be a content creator, whatever, 90% y'all only are able to post 3 videos before they stop. Okay. And the other 10%, they only get to 20 videos before they stop. Right. So if my whole thing is if you can post 21 videos, you're in the top 1%. Most people are gonna quit because it can be very discouraging when you start looking at how many subscribers or how many views or nobody's you feel like you're not getting traction, or you think you're gonna get up here and make $1 million and you not. And so that's what my whole first session was gonna be about. Just like you gotta have your motivation. Your motives gotta be right. You can't get up here thinking you're gonna go viral, thinking you're gonna make a lot of money. Now if you do, that's awesome. But you gotta get up here and do it because you really enjoy it. And if nobody watched, you still do it. Okay. And speaking of, I'm gonna just say this now because I literally got a note. I never say like, comment, and subscribe. I never remember to say that ever. But like I said, I do it because I enjoy it. I'm not doing it for views and stuff, but it does make me feel good when I do have a lot of views and when y'all do comment and when y'all do subscribe. So I appreciate it. But I just always forget to say that. So I literally wrote myself a note. I'm gonna just say it in the beginning. Anyway, let me wrap this tangent up. So that's what my first class is going to be about. So I'm deep in thought and I see myself in front of the class. I'm going to do this at the library and I'm going to boom and I'm going to say this. And then did you know? And da da da. I'm driving meanwhile, right? So physically, I'm in a car driving. Mentally, I'm seeing myself, doing all this stuff. And then I was like, oh my God. Y'all, when I say I'd be so somewhere else, I did not see a cop car. Like until I heard that, it's almost like when you sleep and the sound from the alarm wakes you up and you're like, oh, where am I? That's what happened. I heard the noise. So I looked at my rear view and I was like, oh no, right behind me. I was like, dang, I was literally a turn from my house. I was like 2 minutes from my house. I just needed to make one turn. And so I pulled over in the turning lane and he was like, yeah, go ahead and pull over in the shopping center. I was like, dang. So I had to be embarrassed and, pull in the shopping center that I go to all the time because it's right beside my house. So he pulls up beside me and I was doing wrong, you know what I'm saying? And that's my biggest thing too, y'all. I always say that I'm big about accountability. Like when I'm wrong, I got both my hands up like I did wrong, right? And so I think he was waiting for me to give like this long excuse, and I was like, no, I was going like 25 over the speed limit. Y'all. It was bad. I was gone, and I just told him that I was like, my mind was somewhere else. Like I apologize. You know what I'm saying? And how many people know because of the favor over my life, I didn't get a ticket? Come on, I was just like, I already knew I was done for. I was like, oh man, I can't even. So I guess that surprised him that I admitted it. He was like, well, I got to pull you over because people going to think I ain't doing my job. I said, no, sir, you did right to pull me over. You did right. You doing your job. And I appreciate that. You keeping the streets safe and whatever. Take accountability. Take accountability. Okay. And he was kind of like, okay, well, don't do that no more. And I was like, yeah, you're right. I'm not. I'm going to be safe. So, but anyway, that was a tangent, but I just wanted to tell y'all that because I'm falling off treadmills. I'm getting stopped by cops. It's real unsafe, and I got it, and I'm gonna be better. Okay. All right. Anyway. All right. Let's get started. What we are talking about today. Dang, did it take me 7 minutes to say that? Goodness. Okay. Y'all here to hear me talk though. Anyway, right? So it's all good. It's all good. Okay. Listen. Episode 8, y'all. Are you ready for some football? Football is back. Actually, I'm going to try this new layout. Write in the comments if y'all like this better. This is what I normally do, but I was thinking to do something like this. So, because I'm like so small in the screen. So let me know if you like this better or the other one because I'm trying to decide. But anyway, look, I'm excited. Let me just go to the next slide before I go too far. All right. So this is my mini thought. Everything is right with life during football season. Okay. And this is real serious because me and my husband, we love football, love basketball. Football ends in February. Basketball ends in June. So the latter part of June, July, August, we be sitting around like, what is life really? And what are we going to watch? And what are we going to do? And what do we talk about? I'm just joking, but I'm not joking. You see what I'm saying? It's a real somber, dead period for us in the summer. So we get excited around September when football rolls back around. October, I think late October, basketball is going to be back because we're a sports family. Like that's what we do. And so, man, that's where this mini thought comes from. I just get so excited right after Labor Day because I know football is back. The season officially kicked off last night. Eagles Cowboys, really good game. And then tonight, my husband's team plays the Chiefs, so we're really excited about that as well. So if y'all remember, if y'all watched episode one, and if you haven't, go back and watch episode one. I kind of tell my life story and kind of how I got to where I am. And one of the important pieces I told y'all was that I love sports ever since I can remember, ever since I was like, I don't know, how old are you in kindergarten? Maybe five? Yeah, five, six. I've been on about this sports life. And one of the things that got me into football, because I was primarily into basketball, and I had a little Fisher Price hoop and all that. And then probably around eight or so, I got into football, and the way I got into football, my, mom's sister, so my aunt and my Aunt Lisa and my Uncle Chris at the time, they didn't have kids, and I'm one of the older grandkids, so for a while, it was just, like, me and my 2 older cousins, and so they didn't have kids, and so they kinda adopted me, you know what I'm saying? And so my uncle bought me a Sega Genesis. I'll never forget that for Christmas, which was super cool, and that kinda got me into gaming because I play PlayStation and game and all that too, so, shout out to my Uncle Chris for that. So he got me a Sega Genesis, and then so my dad got me Madden 95, and we would play it together, and I remember I didn't understand why we had to keep stopping because, in football, you run a play and then you huddle up, you call another play, you run it, you huddle up. I didn't understand the whole huddling up thing. I'm like, why can't we just keep playing football? Like, I don't like the huddling up part. He was like, yeah, well, you got to pick a play to run. You know what I'm saying? So at first I didn't like it. I just thought it's just continuous play. Like, I don't know. Maybe they all had mics in their helmets or whatever. I didn't know. So that's kind of how I got into football. I started off by playing it on Sega, and I got really good at it. So me and my dad would play all the time. And like I said, that's all we was watching on TV because back in the day, I don't know about y'all, but we had one TV in the living room. And that was it, and my dad controlled that, and he was always watching football. So it was football, or you can go play with some dolls, like choose your pick. And so since I was playing it on the PlayStation, I really got interested in it. And that's how I really started following the game of football from a young age. So then y'all might notice, what I'm saying? I got my Steelers gear on here. This is my team that I've been rocking with for a couple decades now. And so I'm gonna tell you how or why I like the Steelers, being that I'm from North Carolina. Okay. So I'm from North Carolina, so you might wonder why I'm not a Panthers fan, but, Carolina is a fairly new franchise. I think they came on in maybe '98, I wanna say, somewhere around there. So I was a football fan before that, so I had to have a team. We didn't have a team in Carolina, and so the team that I chose, and this is super vain, was the Pittsburgh Steelers because I like Jerome Bettis. I thought he was so fine. You couldn't tell me nothing about Jerome Bettis, okay? So, I mean, look, so I was just like, you know what? Imma be rooting for that team so I can keep seeing him. And also in episode 1, this is so crazy, y'all. You remember I wanted to go to Penn State? This is why I wanted to go to Penn State. Wasn't because of academics. Ain't that crazy? It wasn't because they obviously, have a great, school of, I don't know, engineering or whatever I was trying to do at the time. But nah, I just wanted to be able to go to the Steelers games, to be honest. I really should have went to the University of Pittsburgh, probably was a little closer. But anyway, that's why I started liking the Steelers because of Jerome Bettis. Okay, so that's just a little funny story there. And y'all, I'm back in the day, I'll bring us up to where I'm at now. Back in the day, I was really, really serious. Okay. I had every jersey, I had every hat, I had every shirt. Actually, on this picture to the far right, I think Obama had just got in office. So, what was his slogan? Yes, we can, or something like that. So I had a Yes We Can Pittsburgh Steelers shirt. The kid just got elected the first time in '08 or something like that. I had every hat. I had all the stuff, y'all. Let me even go to this next slide. That's even I don't even know why I took a professional picture. I think I that was for my graduation, and so I was like, "Well, since I'm taking professional pictures for my graduation, Imma just throw on a Steelers outfit real quick." See, I had the skirt, I had everything. This is my first apartment, and, I had a shrine. I had, like, a wall, a Steelers wall. So that was, like, some jackets, shirts, towels. I said I had purses, earrings. I had, like, everything. So I've really been about this for real, for real. This is not, like, a bandwagon type of thing. Like, I'm really about this life for real, okay? And just all these pictures just bring back memories. This picture to the right here, that's my freshman year at A&T. And, I think we had just won the championship, and so I was super excited. So I got I had the glasses, toboggan, everything. Let me go back here. So the picture to the left, that was my first time. Actually, the picture, both of those pictures to the left, the two to the left, were my first time going to Pittsburgh. Okay, going to their stadium, watching the game there. So normally I would have to catch it, when they come to Carolina. But those two I actually got to go there, which was super cool. Let me think. I feel like both times it was snowing. 'Cause I went in October, November, and that's when I said never again. If I'm going to a game, it's gonna have to be August, September, or early October. It's just not fun. I know some people may think that's fun. It was not fun. Like, it was so cold. Like, the hot dogs didn't taste the same, the hamburger didn't taste the same. I mean, it was literally snowing. And I was just, and I'm a huge Steelers fan. I've traveled all the way to Pennsylvania. This is supposed to be this exciting thing, and I just remember being just sitting there being frozen. Like, what is life, and why did I do this? And I could have been um, in my house watching from the comfort of my home. And I remember my feet were so frozen. It felt like I was walking on blocks of ice. It hurt so bad. I remember getting back to the hotel. I was just crying because I was trying to run the warm water, and it terrible. Never ever going to a game that's cold. I mean, I don't do that. I know some people get off on that and they out there braving the wind. No, okay, I'm not doing that anymore. But anyway, and what made matters worse? Okay, y'all. Let me do my tangent button. I'm so sorry.
This is a tangent.
What made matters worse with this is that, and granted, it's like I was in college, I was grown, you know what I'm saying? But I didn't tell my parents. Um, I went with my boyfriend at the time. We drove down there, right? I didn't tell my parents or anything. It's like, should I have had to tell them? I don't know, because I was grown. I was in college. So we drove down there. Okay. I don't even know. We was using MapQuest, y'all. How was we using MapQuest? Y'all be wondering that? Like, you make a wrong turn, it ain't like it can recalculate. But anyway, we made it. And we were leaving. Okay, so went to the game, all the stuff. We're coming back home. I think I had to go to the bathroom. So we stopped at a rest stop. And my boyfriend at the time is driving and hits a parked car. Okay, so parked car. It was like this truck, right? And this is us. So he kind of like just bumps the truck a little bit, and the truck kind of goes like this, and there's like a guardrail, because I guess it was like an embankment, so it was a guardrail. So he kind of just taps the truck, and then so the truck went forward enough where the headlights hit that guardrail. You would have thought we were going 100 miles per hour. When I talk about it smashed the headlights in that truck, I was like, "What the?" I was like, "Oh no, my parents are gonna kill me. Like, I'm done for." That's all I could think about riding home was like, "How am I gonna explain this to my dad?" And it was an old truck too. It was like an old raggedy pickup truck, so I know it was totaled. So we had to wait and get the insurance. I was like, "Man, this coulda went off without a hitch." But anyway, so that's the memories I have when I look at those 2 pictures. I can't remember which one. I think it's the one where I had the little hand. I think that was when that happened. Um, and then the picture to the right, that's when we won. All the odds were stacked against us, y'all. All the odds. I remember this because I went to my best friend, Brandy. She went to NC State. Of course, I was at T, and so it's an hour and a half drive. So I went up there to watch the game because they were renting out like a theater or whatever. So I went down there. We were there, and odds were stacked against us. It looked like we were gonna lose. So everybody's like talking trash, talking trash. And then, y'all, Ben Roethlisberger threw this pass. Oh boy, caught it in the end zone. Tap, tap those toes. And it was a hush that fell over the crowd. It was a hush. And I just ran to the front like it was an altar call. You feel me? I was just like, yeah, yeah. Like I'll never forget that. Like just the exhilaration. Because they just knew we was gonna lose. And yeah, see, and then boom, we had the last word. So that was a great feeling. All right. Let's see what is next. And so this bottom picture is what I'm talking about. That is the catch. Do y'all see that? Do y'all see the level of concentration that has to be had to be able to anyway. Okay, I'm getting too deep. Okay. But yeah, so that was the catch. And he got those toes in, man. And I was just so excited. And so 2009 was the best year of my life. I'm probably in the 1%. I probably it's probably like a billion to one that this would ever happen again. But in 2009, all of my sports teams won. So I root for the Tar Heels in college basketball. They won. I root for the Lakers in NBA. They won. And I root for the Steelers NFL, so they won too. So that was 2009. I was just on a high. And I graduated from college too. So it was a magical year. It was like they winning, they winning, they winning. I graduate, I moved to Arkansas to start my new life. It was just an amazing, amazing year. And that's why I love sports because it just gives you just something to root, something to hope outside of your normal everyday life and circumstances and things that you might be going through or whatever. It just kind of gives you an escape, I guess is the word I'm looking for. And this year was it was amazing. I could do no wrong. All my teams were hitting this year. However, with the ups of sports also comes the downs and whatever. Yeah, it can. Sports can be a lot. So I seen this last night and I was like, oh, I gotta add this into the slide deck. It said it's that time of year I let a football team determine my mental health for the next 5+ months. And I was like, yes, yes. And I'm low key joking because I don't let anybody determine my mental health but me. But there was a time where this was very much true for me. You remember the slides I just showed you guys? Like I was all in. I had everything. I had a wall. It was all the stuff. But what was happening? And I don't know why. I don't want to be like this, but and I'm better now. But when we would win, everything was right. But when we lost a game, it would really affect my normal everyday life. You see what I'm saying? My mental health, like for real, for real. And I don't know why. I don't want to be like this, y'all. I don't know. I know it's just a game. I know it's not real. I know they don't pay my bills. Okay. But I don't know what it is. But it really, really affect me. Basically, what I do all week, y'all, I'm really about sports for real. Like that's really all I listen to is sports talk. Whether it be radio, ESPN, or I might listen to, Shannon Sharp, Club Shay Shay, or just a podcast, Gil Arenas, something like that. Basically, I just be listening to sports all day, every day. And so, but when we would lose that whole week, I couldn't listen to anything because I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear anybody talking about it. I don't want to hear it. You see what I'm saying? So then it would just make for a bad week, and I just have to try to find something to listen to or watch something random. It really got bad. It was really affecting me, like for real. And thank goodness, the thing that really helped was fantasy football. When fantasy football came on, probably 10, 15 years ago, And with fantasy football, you pick different players. You pick different players on an app, and then however they do in real life, that's how you get points. So if I picked who's somebody y'all might know. If I picked let's say Dak Prescott, he's the quarterback for the Cowboys. So if I pick him and in real life, like I really do have him, but I got him on my bench. I didn't start him. But last night he had 2 touchdowns, so I would get points. I think you get 6 points per touchdown, so that would be 12 points for me. So that's the only thing that really helped me because I had to instead of just rooting for my team, since I was playing fantasy football, I'm rooting for this one on this team and that one and this one and the other. And so that kind of broke me from just being like so into the Steelers and living and dying on every play. I got to like, okay, well, I kind of got to root for him because I need to win and I need to root for him. So that has really like helped me. But y'all, I was bad, and I, don't get me wrong, I'm still a Steelers fan, but I'm not to the point where I was because it was just wasn't healthy. I don't have my wall or anything. Now, we get a big enough house and I'm able to have like a I don't know, a little woman cave or something. I would put it back up, but yeah, I don't do too much like I used to. I don't talk trash because I don't like people talking back to me. You know what I'm saying? So I don't be like which is fine. I just know what I can handle, so I don't be like, yeah, see, that's why we won. Because then as soon as we lose, then people gonna be like, yeah, that. So I don't do that. I don't know why I take it like this, y'all. I don't know, but I'm a lot better. It's still there, but it's not as bad. Um, so yeah, y'all know a little bit about my mental health state. And so that's why when I read this quote, it just touched me because I was like, yeah, here we go. I'm excited about football starting, but at the same time, I just know like certain stuff I just don't be wanting to hear about. So then I was like, oh well, I can't listen to ESPN all week because different storylines and stuff just be getting under my skin. So yeah, y'all. And I say that because I feel like that same passion and tenacity that I have, if I was a man, y'all, and I was about like 6'6", 6'8", I feel like I would be unstoppable. I would be like one of the greatest athletes in the world. Cause this is my alter ego, right? Like the Michael Jordan, I will punch my teammate in practice type of energy. Like if you're not doing right, because I'm here to win. Kobe, Mike Tyson, Tyson, most boxers when they come out, they get a custom made outfit and everything. Mike Tyson would come out with a towel, just a white basic towel, or a t-shirt that he just put on, cut the arms out, just a white Hanes t-shirt. Like I'm here to win. I don't know what y'all got going, and I love that energy. I love that. I'm real old school when it comes to that. I'm the whole. I think football players now are soft. We were talking about it yesterday. It was so many unnecessary penalties. One guy tackled the guy and stood over him like, "Yeah, got a penalty for that." I'm like, "What's going on? You can't talk trash no more." It's crazy, y'all. They're just, and I get it. If I had a son playing in the NFL, I mean, maybe I would feel different. I don't know. I don't want my sons playing NFL. First of all, um, but unless my deal with them is like, you better be the best. Okay. If you're gonna be out here trying to get concussions and CTE and can't walk by the time you're 50, you better be the best. So at least you can have those millions. You can't just be playing football to play football. Like I'm not gonna have that. Okay. You just got a concussion and you playing, middle school, high school, and then it's over. Like, no. That's just me. I'm not telling nobody else what to do, but yeah, it is a dangerous sport. But still, I'm just like, you know what you signing up for, so let's get with it. They have another call where it's called a hit on a defenseless receiver. So, if I'm trying to catch the ball and maybe it slips through my hands, it used to be you might just get your block knocked off. You might get rocked anyway. Yeah, you dropped it, bam. Now they got this call where, if you drop it, then the defender has to not like hit you real hard. You know what I'm saying? Because you're defenseless. Because you were looking up, you weren't looking at him, so you don't have time to kind of brace yourself. So that's called a hit on the defenseless. I'm like, What is the defender supposed to do? Let you catch it? Anyway, okay, I'm going too far on that.
This is
All
a
right.
tangent.
Anyway, that's what I'm saying, y'all. Like, I feel like this would be me if I was a dude, right? And I feel like I would dominate because I have the mentality, I have the work ethic, I love discipline. I love getting up at 5 a.m. every morning, going to the gym every single day, Monday through Friday, just because. And y'all know what I really love? I love when let's say I'm on a treadmill, right? And there's a guy beside me. And we supposed to be running for a certain amount of distance, and then he started walking. And this is not me, y'all. This is my alter ego. I really do love people, but I'd be like, look at him walking, weak. You see what I'm saying? That's why I be telling myself, just like myself up. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, look at you, you strong. Look, you ain't stopping. Yeah, you know what I'm saying. So it's a whole thing. And then another thing. Okay, one more tangent, and I'm done.
This is a tangent.
We were watching the Jerry Jones documentary, America's Team or whatever it's called. It's on Netflix. Check it out. So good. That's another thing I do. I love watching documentaries of people that kind of made it from nothing. Sometimes it don't really be nothing, but people that just were regular everyday people and had to go through a set of circumstances to get, ultimately and walk in their purpose. I love stuff like that. So I was watching it, and one of the coaches that he hired, because he owns the Dallas Cowboys. And one of the coaches that he hired was Jimmy Johnson. And I love the tenacity. I love hard nosed coaches, y'all. I just love that. I'm not really for the, hey, little Jimmy, you can do it. I'm for the Jimmy, get your butt on that sideline or you're not going to play. I like that type of coaching. And that's how Jimmy Johnson was. And so they were showing us where one of the guys had asthma on the Dallas Cowboys. This was back in the 90s. So, back in the 90s, you could do stuff like this. And he was like, "Oh, you having asthma on my field?" He's like, "No, you got to get up and go somewhere else with that." And I was like, "Oh shoot!" And my husband looked at me like, "Are you okay? Like that was mean. Like why are you laughing?" But I love that, y'all. And before y'all say I'm not being empathetic, I had asthma, I had bronchitis. I get it. So, but it was still funny. Okay. But yeah, I just love that. I love hard nosed coaches. I love players that take it too serious. We like, dang dog, we just playing basketball. Like, chill out. I love that. And that's what these three guys represent to me. Like they took it too serious. Um, you know, Kobe will be in the gym at 4 a.m. You know what I'm saying? LeBron James is like that. You know what I'm saying? He gets there before at the age of 41, before all his other teammates, he's in the gym. They might have a game at 8, he there at noon. It's because he takes it that serious. And so I don't know why I'm a little person. Because like I said, had I been a guy or even, a woman that's like 6'2" or a guy that's like 6'8", 6'6", I would have killed. Are you hearing me? And it's almost like I guess that just wasn't God's path for me. And so he was like, "What can I do to make sure she's not in sports? I'm gonna make her a woman. I'm gonna make her 5 feet." And I'm just like, so here I am, y'all. That's why I'm doing the podcast thing. So maybe this is my real purpose. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? So that always kind of upsets me. I'm just like, "Arr!" Especially when you see guys that have the talent but don't have the work ethic. Like, how dare you? You 6'9", you 6'10", you can barely rebound, you can barely shoot. It's just like if I had what you had, ah. But anyway, y'all. Let me see what else I wanted to tell y'all. Oh yeah. So I didn't add this on episode 6, which was about dreams, but my ultimate, like my life would be made dream is to be for me and my husband to own a football or a basketball team. That would be like everything. Like that's probably like the closest I could ever get to really playing. You know what I'm saying? So I would absolutely love, love, love that. And y'all know it would have to be God because first of all, What the Lakers just sold for like $10 billion or something like that. And I'm like, how y'all gonna sell it now? Y'all couldn't just wait till me and my husband got up the money. But anyway, so first of all, we would have to be billionaires, number one. And then number two, just because you have the money doesn't mean you can just buy a team. It's really a good old boys network for real. They gotta vote you in. Because there's a lot of people with a lot of money that would like to have a team, but they have to sit around and actually vote you in. And so if that ever happened, y'all know that it was just guy all the way around. And then also you could be a minority owner too, where you might have like a 10% stake or 5% stake or something like that too. So that could be on the table. But yeah, that would just be everything if we were ever able to own a sports franchise in that way. Um so real quick, let me see if I can do this in 2 minutes or less. If you guys want to follow football this year, I'm gonna give a real quick lesson. Like I said, 2 minutes or less. It ain't gonna be that deep. I'm just give you enough so that you can follow the game, okay? And try to watch a game. Sit down, even watch a quarter, okay? So basically, the way football works is, of course, both teams are trying to score a touchdown. I think everybody understands that much. So, do you just get to keep the ball forever and ever? Like, when do you have to give the ball to the other team so they can try? And so the football god says, you know what? We gonna give everybody 4 chances. And in those 4 chances, you gotta at least get 10 yards in order to keep the ball. Okay. You don't gotta get 50 yards, you don't gotta get 100 yards, you don't gotta score a touchdown. You just gotta get 10. And we're gonna give you 4 chances to do it. So that seems simple enough, right? So basically, when I said chances, chances equal downs. So you'll hear the word downs. Okay, so that's basically what that means. 4 chances, you got 4 downs. So you'll hear first down, second down, third down, fourth down. So that's basically what that means when you see it's second down, it's third down. That means they're on their third chance, they're on their second chance, first, fourth, or whatever. Okay. So that's what downs are, just how many chances you have. And you only ever get four. Okay. You're not gonna get five, six, and seven. Um, So let's just do it a quick example. Let's say you're always going to start with first and 10, right? Because you get 4 chances. So this is saying you're on your first chance and you got to still get those 10 yards. Okay. So let's just say you ran a play and you got 3 yards on that one. All right. So now it's your second chance. 10 minus 3 is 7. All right. So now it's second and 7. It's your second chance and you still got to get at least 7 to get those 10. So let's say you ran another play and you got 4 yards that time. Okay. So now you're on your third chance. 7 minus 4 is 3. So it's third and 3. All right. And let's say you ran one more play and you got 2 yards that time. So now it's just you're on your fourth chance and you only have one more yard to get. Okay. So when you're walking by a TV screen or whenever you see a football game up, just look. It's called the down and distance. So down is it first, second, or third, or fourth down, and the distance. Do you have to go 10 yards, 15 yards? You would only have to go more than 10 if you went backwards. So it's first and 10, and y'all went backwards 5 yards. So now it's first and 15. You see? So yeah, just look and just start noticing the down and distance. Like, oh, okay, it's third and 5. Okay, you know what I mean? Whenever you walk by a screen or somebody has a football game on, just check out the down and distance so you can start seeing how that works. So that's basically it. That's all I'll go into. The only last thing is when it's fourth down, you do have a decision to make. Okay. Basically, most people are going to punt the ball because you've said, okay, this is our fourth chance. We haven't gotten it in 3 tries. We probably not going to get it now. So let's just go ahead and give the other team the ball. So what you're going to do, your kicker is going to come out and he's going to punt the ball way, 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 way down the field because you want the other team to have a long way to travel back up to get their touchdown, right? So you want to kick the ball as far as you can. So that's what most teams are going to do on fourth down. That means if you haven't got by fourth down, you need to go ahead and get the ball up to the other team. So you'll kick it, and we call it punting. However, there's another more risky thing that you can do on fourth down, and that means you can go for it. So that means the coach looks at the players look at the coach, and they like, Coach, it's only 1 yard. Let's try to get it. Let's just try to get it. Now, if you get it, that means you get a fresh set of downs. So you start back at 1st and 10, you get four more chances. Okay. Right. However, if you don't get it, right, that's why it's so risky. The other team gets the ball right where you are. So again, punting, you're punting the ball way down the field. So they got a long way to travel back up. If you say, you know what, I'm gonna go for it, and they stop you, you don't get that yard, they take the ball right where you're at. So they have a shorter distance to get to their touchdown. So that's why it's very, very risky. Most times, teams are gonna punt it. The only time you would go for it is if it's a 4th and 1, maybe 4th and 2. Because 4th and 1, it's like, come on, y'all. I think we can just run and just fall down and get that 1 yard. Or if it's late in the game and you're losing anyway, so it's like, okay, we gotta do something, and we're gonna lose the game, so we gotta go for it, type of thing. So, but yeah, that's just a quick little football lesson. So hopefully that's enough for you to follow along. Um, oh yeah, and then one more thing, because one of the other things is that I want to try to get my oldest son, he's 7, to follow along with us this year too. So I think I'm going to start by, kids these days got a short attention span. So I think I'm gonna have him watch the first quarter with us, and get so he can do that, and then maybe 2 quarters, then 3, then 4. But we're gonna start off this year by him sitting down and watching a quarter. If I can remember, I'm gonna put a clip in here right after I say this because, like I said, sports has been my life, and the only thing I ever wanted was some sons. You know what I'm saying? So when I was pregnant, and I would have loved a girl just the same. But when I was pregnant, me and my husband were on pins and needles. Like we wanted a son so bad. So it's so funny. I'm gonna put this clip in there so y'all can see it. But so when we had a son, I was just like, yes, man, this is amazing. He gonna be dribbling at 2. I'm gonna make sure, wow, the jumper is right. He can catch all the stuff. And we pretty much gave birth to a Albert Einstein, okay, that could care less about sports, y'all. Presidents. Start with George Washington. The President of the United States of America. George Washington, come out of Thomas Jefferson, they messed that's my work. John Quincy Adams, Andrew Jackson, Marcus and Drew, Marie Hudson, John Tyler, Ben K. Polk, Daphne Taylor, Mary Fillmore. I'm like, come on, Jay, let's practice your dribbling and catching. He like, oh my god. I remember because I put him in basketball when he was like 4, and he was just looking like, what is this? Like, why y'all got me out here? He was more concerned with how the scoreboard was working and just anything that didn't have to do with the court.
Film is so slow. Come on, Jalen. Okay, go back.
That's what he was trying to figure out. And so he's extremely intelligent, extremely smart. But yeah, the athletic part is just not quite there. So that's my plan, just to have him sit down with us for a quarter to kind of get into it. Because you're gonna watch football up in here and basketball. And I got 2 other sons too. So they're 1 and 2. So we're gonna kind of see if we can get them on board too. But yeah, we're gonna be a sports family, whether you like it or not. Okay. So that is that. And then also, my husband, now, if you're really into sports, I'm gonna put the link in the description. We are starting a podcast called Run the Clock. Okay. And we will be coming on every Saturday, I think, to kind of recap the sports headlines from the week. So we're really excited about starting that. So you can go ahead and subscribe. So when we start that up, probably in the next 2 or 3 weeks, you'll get the notifications and you can see us on there. We had started it, and this goes full circle from what started the podcast talking about. We started it during the pandemic because what, all sports was shut down. We was bored. We didn't know what to do, and so we're like, let's start a podcast. But and you know how many episodes we did? 3. I'm telling y'all that stat is real, and we stopped. But for us, it was too much going on. We had to bring lights downstairs and the cameras and set up the computer and the microphones, and it was too much. So what we're doing this time, we actually converted our guest room to a podcast studio, if you will. And so all we gotta do is sit down. Everything's in place. We just sit down, press record. See, that's one of the keys too. You can't do too much. All right. You gotta set up and do all the stuff. It just need to be simple. All right, so we are taking our second go at it. So if you are interested and want to follow us on there, you can go ahead and subscribe. And what else do I have to tell y'all? Football's back. Football is back, and so I am happy to get the season started. We play the Jets on Sunday. I'm not happy about our quarterback. I don't know why our quarterback is 41 years old. I don't know why. I think that's real crazy, but I don't make the decision. So we just gonna see, y'all. We just gonna see what happens. But I'm not gonna let it affect me. That's one thing about it. Okay. All right, so that's all I have for y'all. I will be back in another 2 weeks. So y'all have a good one. Peace out.